Hey Emily, I thought you had some really good points. I like the fact that you focused on the word myth and how that was like related to the book, and you asked if we had any questions if regarding that word and how it changed our perspective on the book, or if like we thought about it at all while we were reading. And that was actually the part that I focused like part of my paper on, because I thought that was really interesting that she chose to do that in the title. And it was something that I caught right off, like as soon as I started reading the book, and then I kept, like as I was reading the book, I kept trying to relate pieces to that word. And I think that even when I reflect back on like my childhood and I think about the things that how I saw life then, it changes now as I've gotten older. So like an example might be like when I was little, I used to think that my backyard was this huge backyard and I had like all the room in the world to like run around, like it was huge. But now looking back, and now that I've actually gone back to that house, I've realized that that backyard isn't as big. And so maybe she's using that type of like myth-like feel to kind of describe and enhance her readers' enjoyment of the book or whatever. But I think that it's also, it might be myth, but there's also truth behind it, because that's how she was perceiving things when she was little. I also think it's interesting that she could also use myth as like almost like a racial and like things that were, because myth is technically defined as anything that's like unrealistic, and back then being black and being a lesbian, that was basically unrealistic in that time society. Like we saw that throughout various instances throughout the book. So even like when she went to DC, and we talked about the class president thing, and even in her relationships, they just weren't working, because mostly I think that it was because society wasn't as accepting of it, and it was very shameful at the time, and I'm sure she felt all those emotions. And so I think that's really interesting that you thought that, and I don't think it really changed my perspective of the book, but it definitely made me focus more on how that could relate to the things that we heard in the book.